proper role of parents and children? That is a really important topic. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all about parenting, family relationships, and communication, all through the lens of self-government. And in this video, we're going to be talking about roles. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why roles are important and what happens when roles are not understood within a family and what we can do about it to make sure that we have functional families instead of dysfunctional ones. That's right, a family who does not observe proper roles oftentimes experiences dysfunction. So a functional family is when everyone understands their roles and they live according to them. Now, some people are very turned off by the word roles just in general. Please don't allow yourself to be. Roles are a real thing. We have roles at the office, we have roles in our community, in our countries, in our churches. We have roles everywhere. In our friendships, I think people have used roles in a negative light because of some of their maybe advocacy or activism or whatever, and it has made people hate roles altogether, especially related to things in a family. I'm not talking about responsibilities. Roles and responsibilities are two different things. So I can have the role of mother, but I could also have the responsibility to make dinner. But my husband could have the role of father and have the responsibility to make dinner. So anyone can make dinner, anyone can mow a lawn or take out a garbage or go to an office. Those are just responsibilities that we take on. Roles are deeper than that. They're much more ingrained in who we are. In fact, they're oftentimes self-evident. For instance, I'm a girl. What does it mean to be a girl, to be a woman? Did you know that I won't find satisfaction within myself unless I really acknowledge that truth and say, what does it mean to live that role the very best that I can be? What does it mean to be a powerful woman nowadays? And to make sure that that's clear. Also, something that's self-evident, I'm married. So I'm a wife. What does that mean? What is the role of wife? Or another self-evident thing, I have children. That means I am mother. So what does it mean to be mother? What is the role of mother? We have to understand these things about ourselves, otherwise we are never happy. In fact, people are often looking at other people's roles and wishing that they were someone else. But guess what? No matter how much you wish, you don't get to have somebody else's role, really. Your true self-evident roles don't ever go away. If you have children, you are a parent, that's it. So let's talk about some of these roles and how they lead to proper function. Before we get into what you can do to create better roles in your family and how some of these roles in some homes are going off track, click that subscribe button. There are so many great videos on this channel that you are not going to want to miss, and if you subscribe, you'll have a greater chance of seeing them. It will also help us get other people to this channel who need to see this type of video too. I've been teaching parenting for a lot of years. In fact, many years ago, I started taking in treatment foster children when I was just a young mom and had two little toddlers of my own. When I took in those treatment foster children, what happened was I recognized that they didn't fully understand roles in the family, and I had to make sure that was very clear for them. I was going to be their mother. Even though they had another mother, they needed to see me as an authority figure, and I had to make sure that that was clear for them. They also needed to know what it meant to be a child as well. So I realized after a while when we explained this that this was new information. I thought, well, every family that's functioning probably understands this. So when people started asking me to write books after we started a BBC documentary called The World's Strictest Parents, I thought that roles was just understood in society. Boy, was I surprised. I wrote my first book called Parenting a House United, and when I released that book, people started asking me questions. And I said, oh, well, that's a roles issue. And I thought, oh no, I thought everyone understood roles. I guess I really was more different than other people than I thought I was. So I ended up writing another book called Roles, The Secret to Family, Business, and Social Success, so that I could help people see through the eyes of a family in this case study type story what roles really did for their family, how it could help people take on more responsibilities and respect each other greater, not leading to more separation. I think many people think when you think about roles, you're putting people in boxes and then you're isolating them from each other. And that's not true. In fact, when you understand roles, it should create more unity. So anyway, the second version, the second edition of my book, Parenting a House United, I definitely added some more stuff on roles there so people would not have those types of questions and confusions like they did when the first edition came out. So what is the role of mother? You could go into great detail there. If you asked a child, your child might say, well, she's a nurturer, or she cares for us. She's always there for us. She teaches us stuff, she helps us with things. Those are all things called nurturing. Mother does do nurturing. Doesn't matter if mom goes to the office or mom's home all day or whatever she does, mom is a nurturer. It's in her heart. There's just something about her connection to the child that will always be a nurturing connection. That's what she wants more than anything else, is to raise them up good, to teach them. So she is a teacher. This is a valuable part of mother. Mother teaches the children many things. She points them in the direction of where they need to go as they're growing up, especially when they are younger children. Mother is the heart and hearthstone of the family. So many people's emotions and their goals are tied to mother and the energy that she carries in the home. So this is another thing mother needs to remember. If mother's stressing out, if mother's feeling selfish, that's actually going to impact the whole home negatively if she does not live her role. So what is the role of father? If you were to ask a child the role of father, he might say something like, well, he's a protector, he provides for our family, he presides over our home, things like that. They could say different things. They might say, he wrestles with me, he's fun. Or they might say, well, he teaches us cool stuff. There's different things that they might be thinking about father. But father definitely has a role. He is also a teacher. So that's important to understand. So what is the role of child? Well, every child, especially when they are children, has the role of learner during that phase of development. So they really should be learning from the teachers. If the teachers don't teach, that creates dysfunction. If the learner doesn't learn, that also creates dysfunction. So teachers and learners need to both follow their roles in order to properly keep the home in a functional setting. We could discuss roles further. We could talk about the role of an oldest child versus the role of a youngest child, the role within the sibling relationships. We could talk about more characteristics of the role of child or parent. We could go on for quite a bit of time, although I'm not going to spend a ton of time there. The point that I wanted to make in this video was that when we understand our roles, it leads to function, and that it's not very hard to talk about those roles with each other. Children usually know. I'll tell you the answer they don't know, though. When you say, what is the role of 15-year-old son? They go, I don't know. And that's because usually they don't spend the time thinking about it. They might say something that might make you a little sad. They might say, well, my role is just to do whatever you say. Oh no, they're losing touch a little bit with who they are. They are a learner, yes. And they should help out in the home, yes. But their role is to learn and to grow during this time, right? That's the point of being a learner. So hopefully they're also thinking of their role as I'm attached into this family and I need to increase my attachment and my communication there. There's a lot of action steps that come from understanding our roles. Many families are experiencing trouble with roles, and the reason why is because we are not deliberately taking the steps to talk about what the roles are in our family and having times where we come together to really have those roles work. So in our family, we do deliberate training for our children so that they understand that we are teaching them, this is how you solve this problem, or this is how you communicate if you want to tell us something. There's a skill called disagreeing appropriately that we teach our children. So we deliberately train them. Not only that though, we also have family dinners where we come together and discuss, report to each other. We also have family activities, again, another focus on bonding where we do fun things together every week. We also have family meetings. We have couples meeting, family meeting, and individual mentor meetings. During these times, we set goals for ourselves and for our family as a group, and we check up on how we're doing. We also consistently follow through with praises, pre-teaching for new good action that we want to have them take, and correction. So we help them in all the different areas of the communication, in their actions, to keep them going in a forward direction. This consistent effort on the part of the parents to do that teaching shows them how important they are and helps them move forward in their own self-government and in their connection with the family as well. Super important. If we are just going into digital devices all the time because we are just worried about what we want, our stimulations, or our to-do lists, we actually start fracturing the roles in the family. People have needs. If those needs don't get met in the family, the roles start to fall apart. That's just how it goes. So you have to say, what is the need of father? What is the need of mother? What is the need of child? Those needs will be properly met if everyone is living according to their roles. I'm not trying to tell you who to be or what to be. I'm just trying to tell you that if you actually are a husband, then you're a husband. That's what it is. If you're a parent, you're a parent. That's what it is. If you're a child, you're a child. The best thing we can do is not to fight against those roles, but to embrace them and figure out the best way we can live them. Because when we do, that leads to the best function. So I'd like to give you some tips on things you can do to help your family be more functional. I teach self-government. I actually have an entire program called the Teaching Self-Government Program. I have courses and trainings that I do. And in these trainings, I always talk about skills that we need to teach our children. Skills such as disagreeing appropriately, accepting no answers, accepting consequences, following instructions, as well as praising, correcting behaviors in a calm way, learning how to be calm when you feel like you're going out of control, stuff like that. And I talk about how to do these types of meetings in a way where they don't turn into lectures or labors that people do not enjoy, right? We want a family meeting to bring people together, to strengthen the bond, which then strengthens the roles. If it doesn't, then we might need an adjustment. I have a video that goes into much more detail about the skills and the different components that you need to have the proper feeling in your home to maintain good teaching, learning, and those roles that are so important. So if you've enjoyed this video, please click on the next video, which is called The Not So Known Secret for Parenting Success. And we will give you a whole lot more there. It's actually a full class that I'm giving to everybody here online for free so that you can start getting your family going in the direction that you want them to. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.